Hey, good morning. This is March 23rd, Monday, and wanted to create this video to accompany the update that if you logged in today or this week, you'll get a pop-up showing that a new update to the app has been released, and wanted to just go over some of the exciting new updates to functionality. There was kind of a really big one under the hood that most current users are not going to see the effects of, but effectively the app now uh, is set up to facilitate large national or regional landscaping and irrigation companies that would like to have kind of a hierarchy of access. So if you have a bunch of different branches of users, each branch can operate independently, but you can have a hierarchy of regional, divisional, or corporate users that get to see uh, information occurring at one or more branches. And so there's been some interest from those type of companies. So have updated the database and app to allow that type of user. So excited for that. The app is gaining traction. So I appreciate everyone that's referred or recommended it to your industry friends. It's definitely been helpful. And there's a bunch of other updates that just accompanied that. So excited to review those now in this video. When you log in, you'll see in the navigation bar at the top, we have this sites page now. And so there's some users that have a one-to-one client account to site. They don't have a lot of say commercial properties where you have multiple properties within one account, which is okay. But it just made when you're on the client's table that is listed by billing address. But you may have a lot of clients where the billing address is actually different from the actual site address. So this is just a way to navigate easier, find the specific properties that you're working on. And so everything here should look very similar to how it's laid out in the clients page, but just an additional way to navigate through the app. And then let's jump into kind of where a lot of the changes are. When you go to My Account, if you're a manager level user, um, the My Profile user data details used to be combined with the company details, so they've been separated out. Your team members now will only see just this My Profile tab. They've never been able to see these other tabs, but it's broken out now and much easier to kind of navigate. The company configuration tab here now has all your company information. So this would be kind of branch level information. The contact information that would be shown on reports. And so this is all kind of separated now. Some minor changes to the subscription tab here. Kind of the big thing here is now you can see if you have multiple team members, what access they have, and you can now update that yourself. You don't have to ask me. So there, if you want a manager or admin user, you can update them in that regard. So just to review, admins can change everything on your account. So just be careful with who you provide that role to. They can change all your configurations. They can delete anything they want. Managers really effectively cannot change the configuration of your account, but they can see and assign all of the records to technicians. So technicians are kind of what all of your existing team members are set at. Technician can only manage the checkups that are assigned to them, the quotes that are assigned to them, and can only delete things that they created. And so just kind of a level of role access here that is now kind of self-service, so you can make those changes yourself. And then, managing the subscription, there were some big changes the last update, so that has not changed. Um, in the report template settings, this is where we do have a bunch of new features. So let me just open one of these templates. So uh, there's this new option, show assets checked on PDF. And so when you have a large property that has maybe multiple backflows, multiple controllers, lots of zones, um, you may often not be checking everything when you go and perform a checkup. And so um, this option here, and when we jump into a checkup, I'll show you what that looks like. This option allows you to show which assets were actually checked during that inspection. And if you do enable that, you can actually hide those that were not checked. And so if you have a property that has 3 backflows and 3 controllers, but you only inspected 1 backflow and 1 of the controllers on that particular visit, you can positively mark what was checked, and that will show up on the report. And so I'll show you what that looks like, but it'll make it less confusing for your customers on those large properties to understand what was actually checked. And even for your smaller properties, um, back when I had my business, when you do an inspection, uh, customers always asked, "Hey, did you look at this?" And so now on the report itself, it'll show that it was checked. And so uh, another new feature that was requested by a number of users was the ability to include the asset pics in the report. So that's another option if you check this. Um, so you may want to create a new template that is for the initial visit to a new property, where you are going and figuring out what's on this property, how many backflows, how many controllers, how many zones, and if you're taking images of those assets and storing them in your account so that all of your users have that as a reference, you can now include those pictures on the PDF report for a checkup. So again, probably useful for the first time you visit a property to show the customer, hey, I did look at all your assets. Here's the pictures. You may not want them in the report for the follow-up ones. You may. It's up to you. Just it's going to make your reports a little bigger. But that's now an option that you can use. And as always, just make sure you update the configuration options when you make a change. And also remember, these changes are only reflected in new checkups. You will not see these changes made in any existing checkups that are in flight or have already been completed. Um, and then another new update. Let me find one of these callouts that has a default product. So this is replace a rotor. I've got a default Rainbird 5004 already set up as a default. So every time a user clicks replace a rotor, the quote's going to get updated. I can now tag this as a priority repair, and that will actually show up in the quote with a little explanation mark next to the quote item, showing that it's a priority repair. So, maybe replacing a rotor is not necessarily a priority, but obviously a mainline leak would be. And so we can check a priority repair here. I've got 1 hour labor added, and maybe lateral leaks. Those are also priority repairs. So we can update those. And then when your users tag those callouts, they will be shown in the report on the quote items as being priority. And so you may have a mix of things that are kind of nice to repair and those that must be repaired. And you can adjust your quote accordingly. Maybe your customer only wants to do the priority one, so you can clone that quote and just remove the non-priority items and kind of go from there. So that's kind of a nice little function. While we're here, just real quick, the price books, when you go to edit these, uh, the table's been updated to the latest table architecture that you'll see being updated throughout the app in different places. Um, just making these new tables are easier to sort and filter. So several of those areas have been updated to reflect this new table architecture. So kind of boring technical detail there, but just making app use a lot easier. So let's go and start a new checkup, and I'll show you what this new options will look like. And so when you go to the checkup details, you'll see at the top here we have this new assets checked button. And so what happens is when you create a new checkup record, if this is a property you have already set up and visited, it will generate this little table that you can reference. And so shows we have one backflow, one controller, two zones. So kind of a simple test site here. But it will show with this icon whether it's been checked. So it's showing yellow right now because it has not been checked. And you can just click it to say, yes, I've checked that. You can actually uncheck it also. What will also happen if we go down here to backflows, you see the icon here, this yellow shield. Maybe you go over to the backflow and check it out, and there's nothing wrong with it. So you can just click the shield, it'll turn green, shows that you had looked at it. It'll also, if we add a repair to this, just say repair backflow, leaking at first check, something like that. If we want, we can add, maybe we need to add some sort of repair here. Oh, this price book is kind of limited what I can add here, but should have picked a better price book for this client. Let's add this. So we added the repair. It was yellow before, but now it's green. So if you add a repair, it assumes you did check this this asset. So it works the same way on pumps, works the same way on controllers, and then in the zones, it also works that same way with the added functionality. If we go to Zone 1 repairs here, let's say we're walking the zones and there's actually no issues. So this next used to be called skip. That still is the case here. If we click next, nothing's going to be added, no repair because I didn't change anything here. But I can actually say no issues. And so if I click no issues, it's going to go to the next zone. And let's say this one's got a bad rotor. And let's say I want to check this as a priority repair. That's also there now, and click add zones. And when we get brought back to the checkup, we can see that both of those zones now show the green shield. It's been positively checked. And we can use this button at the top. It's also available at the bottom. If we look at that, all right, so the backflow has been checked. Zones have been checked. Did I check the controller? Yeah, actually I did. So let's go ahead and check that. And now let's go ahead and create our PDF report. And so let's see how this shows up on the report. And so this is now generating the PDF. And when we open up the report, we can see, since we have enabled those new options to show what's been checked, there's now kind of a new little progress bars at the top. So 1 of 1 backflows was inspected, 1 of 1 controllers was inspected. And in the zone listing, we have these little checkboxes. So if for some reason you didn't check a zone, maybe you couldn't find the zone, that certainly could be an issue. Sometimes that would be unchecked. And so, and then if we go down to the quote, we see that that rotor I added for zone 2, I added the priority tag and it's showing as a priority. So your customer will know, hey, you really should do that repair. So if we go back to the checkup, we can adjust any of that as needed. So um, let's just say let's remove this backflow repair and let's uncheck the backflow being checked. So let's say I just didn't checking the backflow is not part of my routine. So we can go verify this. Okay, it's not checked. Let's create that PDF again. And if this works the way it's supposed to, on the PDF, we will see that should show 0 of 1 inspected. So the backflow is not inspected. The backflow information is not shown on the report any longer because it wasn't checked. And we had said hide assets not checked. And so definitely makes the report more condensed. And so that could be of value to certain properties or certain ways that you're doing things. So um, that's really the bulk of the changes. Let me go back to the checkups and show one last thing. This is already getting to be a long video, but I did want to show that when we go to our zone descriptions, we now have the ability to input the number of heads in the zone. So let me update that zone. So there's 6 heads in zone 1 here. And if you do that, it'll show up in parentheses here. How many heads are there? If we go and add a repair, if we go to our info button in the top, we also see it'll show us how many heads are there. That could be beneficial if you're, let's say for this zone, you're adding to the quote that you want to upgrade all the heads to, um, pressure regulating with MP rotator, something like that. It's a quick way to see, okay, well, how many heads do I need to add? Okay, I need to add 6. So let's add 6 MP rotators, and let's put them on 6-inch pop-ups. So um, we can make note. This is upgrade path for this zone, something like that. Okay, and that will then show up on the quote. So make sure you get the right quantity there. So just another helpful thing. There will be some reporting updates to that in the near future, so that your management level in the report section, if you want to see, how many heads are in a specific customer site or what have you, or the average number of heads per rotor zone, something like that. There will be a lot of updates to reporting this season, so looking forward to that. But that's really the bulk of the changes made in this update. So hopefully that helps you in your business. And I appreciate all my subscribers. Uh, as always, if there's something that doesn't look right or you need some help understanding how it works, feel free to reach out. I am always available. So appreciate it, and good luck.